Hello and welcome to another episode of AUC's Observer. I am Hala Majid and I will be your host for today's episode. In this episode, we will have 8 different stories happening in our AUC campus. And lastly, since the month is full of celebrations for women, we will have an exclusive interview with Yara Yusri. Her and her female teammates won the Under the Starry Sky competition, Youth Action for SDGs. Stay tuned to know more. Women supporting women. She Arts Orchestra celebrates Women's International Day by hosting an all-female show. More on this with the following report by Aya Nashid.
In celebration of Women's Day, She Arts hosted its second round of orchestra ceremony fully played by women. The event took place at AUC Tahrir campus, specifically at the Ewart Memorial Hall. And what was special about the event that it was for free, encouraging audience to attend and enjoy the show. The orchestra consists of women from Egypt and other countries, and the event highlighted 3 talented women: the Egyptian harpist Manal Muhyiddin, the Italian soprano Genevieve Rizzi, and the Italian conductor Isabella Ambrosini. She Arts Orchestra started back in 2021, and its main aim is to shed light on talented women in the artistic field.
عملنا المهرجان 2021 في مركز التحرير الثقافي بالجامعة الأمريكية. عملناه 2022 في نفس المكان، ولكن الأنشطة بتاعتنا عملنا بعض الحفلات في اسكندرية كمان.
They decided that ceremonies only are not enough, so they started doing other activities. Attendees were not only women, there were men who came to support the cause of the event.
قررت اجي كتغيير جو مش اكتر يعني. فجيت وما كنتش عامل حسابي خالص يعني ايه البرفورمانس هيكون عامل ازاي. واتفاجئت جدا بالسوبرانو اللي كانت بتأدي، كانت تحفه. وعجبتني جدا فكره الايفنت ان هي بتوري الشوكيس الفن بتاع السيدات.
She Arts continues its efforts to raise hope for women and girls that they are seen, heard, and appreciated in the community. This is Aya Nashid, AUCTV, Cairo.
AUC hosted its annual event, AUC Open Day, helping high school students to know more about different majors and services that AUC offers, as well as engage them in different activities. Nouran Fathi tells us more about this event in the upcoming report.
AUC Open Day event took place at the plaza in the AUC new campus. In this event, AUC has welcomed high school students and their families and helped them know more about the different majors offered. There were booths all around the plaza where high school students were able to talk with different experts or current students from different majors.
عرفت عن ال AUC Open Day من ناس صحابي وبرضو from my family اللي هم اصلا قرايبي يعني هنا في الجامعه. انا اول ما جيت وقفت عند كل بوث بتاع كل ميجر وعرفت كل حاجه بتتكلم على ايه، وبصراحه استفدت قوي ان انا عرفت على الاقل يعني الحاجات اصلا يعني الميجرز ايه هي وايه معنى كل ميجر، فده يعني فتح لي مخي لحاجات جديده جدا ما كنتش فاكره ان في اصلا انها موجوده يعني.
Each booth showcased part of what they do and some of the students' projects done throughout the years, such as architectural models and mechanical engineering sample projects. The enrollment office had a booth as well to talk with students and their parents.
هي دي annual event بقالنا كذا سنة بنعملها mainly للطلبة اللي هم في الهاي سكول اللي هم بيفكروا ايه الاوبشنز اللي قدامهم وتقديم الجامعات وكده. فرصة ليهم طبعا ان هم يجوا ياخدوا تور في الكامبس ويتعرفوا بالفاكولتي ممبرز من كل الميجرز اللي اوفرد عندنا ويقابلونا احنا في الانرولمنت والادميشن اوفيس. الاي يو سي از يعني حلم دايما بيتهيأوا ان هو حاجه بعيده، مع ان هي اتس ايزي ان هو يقدم لها لو هو عارف الاوبشنز اللي متوفره له فيها.
AUC not only helped students know more about different majors, it demonstrated and introduced all the different services it offers as well. The event also included some activities to keep the attendees entertained. AUC Open Day has definitely gave the high school students a push forward towards their future. Nuran Fathi, AUCTV, Cairo.
In collaboration with Red Bull, the Students' Union at the American University in Cairo hosted the GO tournament, where there were different tastes of football for everyone. More in the upcoming report by Heidi and Deal.
At the heart of the AUC Gardens, the Students' Union hosted the GOAT event in collaboration with Red Bull. One of the event's competitions was Volta, or as its players call it, street football. While the teams compete to score the highest number of goals, the way they play it is different.
It's a different strategy. For first, you shoot more, you don't actually pass more, you don't wait till you reach closer to the goal, you shoot from far away, that's something. Another thing is the rules of the game here in Volta stops you from having someone stay at goal. So this makes it way easier for teams to score. So this incentivizes me to shoot more. And I guess it's harder to defend for us myself. So we have to have a libero or a center defensive back, stay at all times at the back.
Red Bull Hat-Trick, another competition, but this time for video gamers. To find the most 3 skillful gamers in Egypt, Red Bull organizes various tournaments in different governments and universities. AUC students are participating in this tournament for the first time.
في الاي سي النهارده عندنا 64 فريق. ال 64 دول بنخرج منهم فريق واحد بيلعبوا بعض كلهم، او بتبقى نظام ويفز. كل ويفز فيها 16 تيم. كل تيم بيلاعب بعض لغايه لما نوصل في اخر اليوم لفاينل واحد، هو دوت اللي بيطلع معانا بيمثل AUC في بطوله الجمهوريه.
On another note, there was an interactive corner for those who wanted to create their own competitions. Students took part in different games, however, football was always the main hero. And with all these various activities in this event, do you think how long did it take to prepare for it?
We've been preparing for it for a while. The preparation itself took about a week or so, but we had it in plan, like in our action plan since last semester. Well, alhamdulillah, it's working out so good. People are having fun, people are engaging with the interactive corners, with the event itself, with the Red Bull booth. People are having so much fun.
In this event, the Students' Union managed to offer different tastes of football for everyone to enjoy. This was Heidi and Deal, AUC TV, Cairo.
Artpreneurship, a new appeal for art lovers made available by فنون المحروسة at AUC Tahrir. More on this in the upcoming report by Christine Munir.
At AUC Tahrir, نهضة المحروسة, also known as the Renaissance of Egypt, organized an event called فنون المحروسة. The event aimed to make a positive and lasting impact on Egypt's cultural, economic, and social development by empowering and engaging young Egyptians. The event lasted from February 28th to March 2nd, and it functioned as an incubator for innovative social enterprises anchored in art, such as music, dance, theatrical performances, as well as handicrafts. This is part of نهضة المحروس's vision to incubate over 285 social enterprises in areas such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, youth development, education, employment, healthcare, arts, and culture.
ممكن الناس تبقاش متفهمه قوي ان انت عندك تالنت او ان الشيء ده بيساعدك اصلا وبيديك سبورت ان انت بتطلع التالنت بتاعتك والسكيلز بتاعتك خارج خالص اطار الشغل اللي هو التقليدي بتاعك، وبالتالي ده بيساعدك جوه الشغل بتاعك ان انت تبقى سموث جدا، تبقى شخص متصالح مع نفسك، وبالتالي تقدر تدي باور اكتر في الشغل، تقدر تدي انرجي اكتر في الشغل، تقدر تبقى برودكتيف اكتر.
Further, the event hosted multiple panel talks and master classes with renowned artists to educate art enthusiasts on sustainability through art, and in order to discuss how art initiatives and projects can be sustainable to succeed and encourage social action and change.
جزء من شغلنا ده بيدعم الشباب عن طريق التمويل، عن طريق التدريبات، عن طريق بناء القدرات، التشبيك، جلسات الإرشاد وما شابه ذلك. كل ده في إطار حاضنة الأعمال. جزء كبير من شغلنا هو جزء على الصناعات الإبداعية، فبنشتغل مع ناس في الفنون والثقافة وفي الحرف.
The event served not only the education purpose, but also networking for people to learn and connect with fellow artists. This is Christine Munir reporting for AUCTV, Cairo.
Podfest Cairo took place in AUC Tahrir, gathering podcasters and those interested all in one place. More on this in the upcoming report. In the nostalgic AUC Tahrir campus, specifically the Edwards Hall, lied the 4th edition of Podfest Cairo.
Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome everyone to Podfest 2023. My name is Basma Bilal and I'm going to be your MC tonight. Our goal for today is twofold. Is to share knowledge about podcasting and to network, to connect podcasters and potential listeners and collaborators.
Podcast Cairo is an event for podcast creators and those interested in creating audio content to talk about their experience with podcasts with future podcasters.
Verena, the same question. I think it's mostly about keeping your ears and eyes open to what your audience wants to listen to or hear. So just like, because it's news-based for us, for example, it's always about what our audience wants.
I think the podcast industry in Egypt is slowly booming right now. Like, it's gaining a lot more popularity than it used to. Especially with the death of radio, to be honest, like everyone's switching. Obviously, I don't think it is as popular as it is abroad, for in the States, for example. But you know, we're getting there. So yeah, that's exciting.
I think the industry is still, as an industry, is not big enough. But the podcasting scene has been booming with lots of people are listening to podcasts, and maybe more people are trying to launch their own podcasts. But as an industry, in the way of having production agencies and stuff, it still needs to get bigger.
To ensure that the audience are getting the best out of the event, there were translation kits they could use to translate what the speakers were saying from Arabic to English and vice versa. As fruitful discussions were upraised, the audience had the chance to voice their concerns about podcasts.
Sometimes the content or the performance or engagement of your audience gets saturated or stagnant. How do you make sure you make it exciting or interesting for your audience?
I think my number one advice is to still get content out there and still create as much as we can.
We always have a different group of speakers. So none of the speakers who are here today are the same panelists who've been at previous PodFests. So that's new and unique, and we aim to do that on a regular basis to bring in new voices and to get more people together.
Since the podcast industry is expanding in Egypt, would it be a medium all segments will utilize? This was Hala Majid, AUCTV, Cairo.
More than just a celebration of female entrepreneurship, She Can, She Greens is a tribute to the phenomenal strides that women have made in business. More on this in the upcoming report by Nouran Ismail.
This is She Can, She Greens 23, an event celebrating the outstanding achievements of female business owners. This event is not only an opportunity to showcase their products and services, but also to uphold their success stories during the special month celebrating International Women's Day. She Can, She Greens is an opportunity to learn, network, and be inspired. Let's hear more from our participants on their projects.
أنا من سوهاج. أنا هنا في شيكان علشان أدعم مشروع الراسيات. الراسيات معناها الحاجات الثوابت أو الرواسخ، وأنا أقصد بيهم السيدات الحرفيات الموجودات في الصعيد، والسيدات دول بيشتغلوا حرف من زمان، يعني في ناس عدت ال60 سنة ولسه ما زالت بتشتغل حرف يدوية، بس هم مش معروفين. فأنا بحاول أخدهم عشان أعرفهم بالعالم وأعرف شغلهم للعالم. البيتش ديك بالتحديد كان أكتر حاجة كنت لسه أتعلمها وتعلمناه في شيكان. الجزء الخاص بالماركتينج كمان من الحاجات اللي أنا كنت بدور عليها عشان أتعلمها اتعلمناها في شيكان.
The following is part of the welcome note of Dean James Carter, Dean of School of Continuing Education at the American University in Cairo.
This is the 99th year of the existence of the School of Continuing Education. It's had different names over the years, but for almost the entire history of the American University in Cairo, which is 104 years, we've been part of it. Now, we're very proud of 99 years. In American terms, that's a long time. In Egyptian terms, it's the blink of an eye.
Let's hear more about the student projects.
خطة سوبر أبلة إن إحنا نطرح النسخة بتاعة الحروف الشقية وندرب المدرسين وإن إحنا نطلع 300 لعبة إلكترونية على آخر الشهر. فريقنا ده فريقنا، لكن بكل فخر اللي عمل الكروت بنت عندها 14 سنة، واللي صمم الويب سايت ولد عنده 16 سنة.
أنا يا جماعة دكتور المباني وجاية أقول لكم إن أنا أقدر أعالج لكم مبانيكم من إن هي تكون بتستهلك طاقة كتير جدا وغير موفرة.
Attendees also get the chance to hear from top-notch experts in the field. The panels provide valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities for women in business. This is Nouran Ismail, AUCTV, Cairo.
Have you ever come up with a solution to a complex issue? Eureka is the term that defines the satisfaction you feel when you do so. AUC's Eureka showcases the creative and innovative research of its top students. More on this with our reporter Javier Jennings-Moto.
Empowering research since the very beginning. That is what the first year research experience, part of the Eureka Showcase, is. Around 125 group presentations by AUC freshman students showcase their research every March in multidisciplinary topics such as political science, sociology, anthropology, and literature.
It's important to showcase even the students that are at the beginning levels and just entering research as a first and second year student. So that's why today we were highlighting the first year research experience, which is also called FIRE.
One of this year's focus environment, and geopolitics regarding the building of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, with teams representing the Ethiopian, the Sudanese, and the Egyptian point of view.
So, in terms of politically, Egypt and Ethiopia has already decided.
Their case studies are presented in front of a varied audience that has a lot to gain from these fresh perspectives in research.
Just finding out about what it's like doing research and what it's like presenting to others, and the topics in general that they're covering are very interesting and intriguing, and it makes us consider it gives us an outlook on different paths and careers we could take and different ways we could advance in our lives and just develop different careers. And just seeing those perspectives and people and new ideas is just an eye-opener.
After presenting, everyone is awarded a diploma, and they are invited to attend another major event related to their showcase.
The Eureka Showcase is part of the Research and Creativity Convention that lasts from the 12th of March to the 16th of March here at AUC. And today, the first day of the convention, we have a very special guest, Minister of Environment, Yasmin Fouad, who's giving an opening speech.
I was in this place in March when we were talking about what we're going to do in COP27.
The minister gave a speech discussing Egypt and climate change after COP27 that served as an opener for this annual collective event where faculty members, undergraduates and graduates gather with parties outside of AUC in a space for discussion where they exchange ideas and concerns on different issues.
This can help the government see how the students think about these issues and actually take them forward, or actually make the students with them in the same pool of thinking, or the hub of thinking, through the research papers, through the ideas, if there's an innovative solution that is presented, that can be done.
With events like this one, AUC continues to be one of the leading institutions that aims at creating an impact on the community both inside and outside of the university through the value of its members. Javier Jennings Mozo, AUCTV, Cairo.
We are now ending our show with a special interview with the Under the Starry Sky winner, Yara Yusri. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. Today we have one of the astonishing team members who won Under the Starry Sky competition by the UN. Yara is here to talk to us more about the project that they have done with the fishermen in the Bahtini village. Yara, it's a pleasure having you here today with us.
Thank you.
So firstly, I'd like to ask you, what was the competition about?
Okay, the competition is Youth Action for SDG. It's Under the Starry Sky, like you just said. We went through like a first selection process where we have been chosen out of 3,000 applications. They chose like 30 international groups, and we were delighted to be one of them. And we received a 4-day intensive training by the WFUNA. After submitting the final project proposal, WFUNA selected half of the patches that have submitted the proposals, and we were delighted to be selected as one of the 15 international groups. And we will get the chance to implement our project with help and guidance from the WFUNA. And then we'll be presenting our project later on in September in Norway, and we'll get the chance to represent Egypt and our dear university, AUC.
And that makes me want to ask you next. How did you think with your team about this project?
Okay, when we first saw the competition, actually we saw the competition in Career Web, and me and other 3 team members, who are Heidi Mahmoud, Mariam Al-Halabi, and Alia Musa. They are mechanical engineering students, and I'm an architecture student. When we first saw the project, we thought about the current economic circumstances, and we couldn't help but think about the marginalized, shrinking communities that are facing a lot of difficulties in these circumstances. Actually, last year I went with an urban design course, and I studied this village for a semester, and we started studying the socioeconomic aspects that this village is currently facing and suffering from. We found that those people are currently suffering from the lack of the fishing materials, and we thought about offering them like a new local and sustainable material which is much cheaper than the usually like imported materials, which are nylon and plastic, and silk, which is like the current material that they are using in the fishing net.
And can you talk to us more about the circular economy that you have implemented in your project?
Okay, so basically we are using the fishing net as a tool, as a method to help those people think in a resourceful mood where they can reduce, reuse, and recycle. We want to incorporate recoup plastic in our manufacturing of the fishing net. Therefore, we're encouraging those fishermen to collect the plastics, which is found in huge amount in the Timsah Lake there in Ismailia, and then they would give this plastic to us, and then we would give it to a recycling factory, and we would get in return recycled plastic filaments in which they can be later used on in the manufacturing of the fishing net.
By talking about the fishing net, can you talk to us more about the process of you thinking of how to do the nets?
We wanted to provide a local, sustainable, and more affordable material for the fishing net. The problem with the current fishing nets is that they tend to get lost in the ocean, and a phenomenon happens which is known as ghost nets, which really harms the environment and keeps on catching fish, which leads to like the death of actually of the marine life there. So we want to find a local, more cheaper, and a sustainable biodegradable material, and we couldn't help but think of the banana fibers. Banana fibers is actually used in the manufacturing of the fishing net back in India, and we thought we have like a huge amount of banana waste here in Egypt, tons actually of banana waste, that people tend to find it very hard to get rid of this waste, and it would be like, it would harm the environment like in a very bad way. So we are using these banana waste, and we are getting the banana fibers out of it, and then we're incorporating it in the fishing net. We actually have 3 types of the fishing nets, which is a high fiber, low plastic fishing net, and a high plastic, low fiber fishing net, and our final result, hopefully, that we could reach a 100% fiber fishing net.
By us actually talking about how the fishing nets are helping the environment, what are your future plans, you and your team, with this project?
Of course, manufacturing a new fishing net is one of our main goals, but we also want to help the people of Azbat al-Bahtini. We want to shed light on this village and the beauty of it. Like I told you before, it's like a true fishing gem that people don't know about it. So we are collaborating with local travel agencies, and they will be arranging trips there so that people can enjoy the beauty of Bahtini, learn more about it, and learn more about this fishing community, which will help this village economic-wise and even social-wise. Also, next Tuesday, we'll be presenting our project in the RIHA conference here at AUC, and later on in September, we'll have the chance to present our project to potential international sponsors in Norway, which is a ship expedition arranged by the Wufuna.
The final question I want to ask you today, how do you think AUC have helped you throughout this project and competition?
We have received a huge amount of support and guidance from different faculty members at AUC, as well as support from the Dean of Students at AUC, and also the chair of the Architecture and Mechanical Department have helped us greatly.
Thank you so much, Yara, for being with us today. And thank you all for watching. See you next week.